Hello, everybody. A very good sun kissed morning. And as I was sitting in the sun, I thought that I should do something productive. I should. So, what I planned for this video is going to be a part of my series that I've started like months ago, but didn't got time to work on it. And I got into like a lot of stuff, but I learned, and that's the best part. Now I can share more with you. So, this video is a part of series that has been labeled as internships and work opportunities for international students. But what I am planning to do for this right now, for this video, is this video can be used by any student, any person who is trying to find a job or is actually working for a position. So this video is going to be based on how to make a resume. Why resume? Because resume is something you're gonna work on. It's it's a kind of advertisement that's gonna advertise you, so it should be good, right? And what I have found, during my journey of getting internships and with talking to other people, is like a lot of them doesn't know that it does have a format. Okay, so what does that mean? Do, with format, I do not mean that having the skills part in the super corner left side, or just having the summary of your experiences in the upper left corner. No, it actually meant I actually meant like telling you about the contents of a resume. How do we choose that what should be in the resume and what should be not? So while applying for a lot of internships, I found that a lot of websites does have their own like contents of resume, that they are going to check your resume on the basis of those factors, and those organizations are huge. For example, WHO has its own resume pattern, and ASM, American Society of Microbiology, does have their own resume pattern. And what I found is like, if you're gonna follow the big organization's resume pattern, it's gonna make your resume broader for a lot of tiny organizations too. How? Okay, I felt that they are so systematic that they demand some robust points. For example, they ask you to make your resume in such a way. For example, if you're gonna tell about your position in the past positions that you did, you're gonna explain them. Okay, I did this kind of position, but you need to write at least 2 3 points regarding that position. And I feel like, my friend, that's golden. Why it's golden? Because, okay, you did your job, right, in the past 6 months with some XYZ organization. You know what you did, you know what you were good at, you know where you screwed up, you know what you learned, right? And but when you just tell the title of the position to your administrator or to your boss or to the new employer, I don't think the employer is going to vision that position in that way, similar the position you visioned it yourself. So by writing, so those 2 3 points kind of gives you opportunity to explain them that why you deserve the position you are applying to. For example, if a position is asking for that, for example, if a position wants you to have a skill known as MS Excel, so rather than writing it that you know how to do MS Excel, you can actually tell them that, okay, I did this ABC position, and first line, I worked with the administration part of my university. Second line, I worked with MS Excel, and I used to and I use MS Excel for these kinds of work. Third point, I love this part of MS Excel, or this MS Excel made this part easier, or I learned that part about MS Excel. Or you just, for example, if you related MS Excel with some other software or program that the organization needs, or just an extra stuff, and it's like it kind of gives you and the organization a same background, or like a shared ground on which they can actually compare your skills to the skills they actually want. So I feel like that's important. And then there is like summary of qualifications, or like about your degree, like what you did, about your honors, and a lot of if you're applying for a position on the research basis, you can actually make a column of your research projects. And it doesn't matter that if right now if they are in the process of publishment, or if they're actually you're actually working on it, but you can still write 2 3 points on that, and that kind of gives a really good idea of those resume. A lot of organization want you to add links of your LinkedIn profile, and I love that part because, for example, I made LinkedIn, and rather than connecting, it actually helps me keeping my data and keeping my experiences in a very systematic manner. Because when I join a position, I introduce it in my profile, but later with 2 3 months I start adding my points to it, like, okay, and when I'm making my resume, or my drafting my new resume, or just making it, or make modifying it for some new position, I just need to copy paste it from my LinkedIn profile. So it's pretty good. And if you feel like you did so much more and you cannot compress it in like 1 or 2 pages, writing more than 2 pages of resume never goes better good, like never. I have not done that, but I have talked to my friends, and they have never said that it did something good to them. So rather than writing the whole stuff, they sometimes just add link of their presentations, or just link of their, for example, if you have a YouTube channel with thousands of subscribers, and you're telling them that you did so much good and you're teaching thousands of kids, and like, I do have another YouTube channel where I teach, so this one is doesn't count. So you can just add the link, and it makes things so much easier. So I did that homework for you. I already looked at a lot of organization and a lot of websites, and I have already formatted a very good, well drafted resume format. It's like, again, with format, I simply means content, because the settlement and the spacing and everything is up to you, because that's you. Make it huge, like, enjoy making it, and it's gonna your advertisement, so it needs to be best, right? And what I understand, one more thing about resumes is like, in the start, I started finding positions by making resumes from templates that are available on various soft apps and some docs, and I never got internships with those resumes. And I feel like now I know why, because they were kind of shitty. Why they were shitty? Because I have so much to share, and the font, the color, uh, it's like, it's so broad that it doesn't makes it so specific. Or I feel like the space, there's so much wastage of space, there's so much wastage of, like, they feel like you didn't do much in your career. So it's like, maybe you would just want to share 2 to 3 points about your stuff, and I feel like that's not me, right? And I feel like making, the moment I started making my resumes from scratches, like from the PowerPoint presentations or from any slide software, I did so much better, and I got like so much more internships. And again, the golden rule, the more attempts you're gonna make, the higher chances you're gonna get it. So yeah, just apply to more positions if you're gonna get it. Like, and sometimes I feel like we have this tendency that, oh, do I deserve this position? Does my experience counts for it? I'm like, let's apply for it, because the most it's like nothing to lose and too much to gain. And it's like it enhances your confidence if you get a position that you doesn't feel like, oh, I got it, like, I didn't expected it to be like for me. And then when you prepare for interviews, it's like, applying for jobs is never a waste of time. It's always good, it's always fulfilling, you always learn new things, like. And yes, there's one more thing I want to it's like, I want to give you a whole picture and content of the resume, but I wanted to give you the big points now. So the other point is like, I always prefer making my resumes in colored and black and white. So why do I make black and white resumes, and with a simple formatting? Like, it should not have so many designs, and with a better spacing, because a lot of portals are computerized. So what it does is, like, the computer actually goes through your resume and actually searches for like similar words the employer has written in the job description. And if it does not like find enough words, it just rejects your resume. And sometimes it just does not find the words because of the tough formatting because of the spacing and because it's hard to read for the computer. So try to keep one resume super easy so that you can just upload it on the portal and the computer kind of find it's easy for computer to read. The second one is like colored. I do a lot of research with plant extract, so the other resume is kind of a professional green, not this one. Like it's not super bright green, it's like simple sober green. And I apologize if you guys can hear like horn honking sounds because right now I'm in a vacation in India and uh, I just wanted to do something productive and during this pandemic period, and it's like it's a good time to work on your resumes too, right? So if there is any background sound, I apologize. So yeah, what we were talking about, and yeah, colorful resumes. So why do I make colorful resumes? Sometimes you just meet people randomly, and I feel like your resume should be an expression of your work. Like, I do a lot of research with plant extracts. That's why I had this super light, sober green resume. And it's not super complicated. It has good spacing. And I'll show you, or I might not because it depends on my data cringing. I don't want to lose my data, right? So I might just not show you the actual resume, but I'll give you some ideas. And the other part is with the colorful resume, you can, for example, you want to do an internship with a professor, and luckily or coincidentally, your professors know that professor, and you just talked about him to your professor, and he's like, okay, I can set you guys up for a meeting, and you can send the professor when it's human on the other side your colorful resume, and that's good. That works both, but because the contents in both the resume are same, it's going to have an honor part and award part, your research projects. So I'm a science student, and most of my works and work experiences are either based on like my research experiences or my academics or my sciencey stuff. So if you're from commerce or anything, I'm not sure it's gonna help you a lot, but I think it's gonna give you a good idea. So hang in there and let's get into it. Bye. Not bye. Let's get into it and let me share my screen with you. So as you can see, kind of hide a big part of my data because I don't want to release it. But I also want to show you the structure of my resume. So now I'm going to give you a big description in words rather than, as you cannot see all everything like work experience and my bullet points. So I'm just trying my best to give you a good description of it. So the first thing you should check is you should have a name on your resume, your name on your resume, address, phone number, and professional email address. I had this part below my name in like behind that brown curved edge box. So you cannot see it, but have your name, your address, your phone number, and your professional email address in this. Then you should have a summary of qualification. So what do you mean by summary of qualification? Like it's like 2 3 lines that can kind of sum up your experience. And I feel like you can use LinkedIn summary of qualification, but not as like just copy pasting. You can just take tidbits of it and then make something of your own, and the more original you're gonna be, the better it's going to be for you because your experience is completely like specific for you, it's special for you. That's what distinguishes you from another candidate. So the more originality, the better. And you should list your education with, and in that bar like below education, I kind of hide my education behind that blue box. So in that you should have your degree, your field refers to your major and minor, your institution name, and your year of graduation. And sorry. And if by any chance you are in a process of graduation, like you're going to graduate in December 2021, then you're going to write the date, and in parenthesis you should write expected graduation. Because I don't know, maybe you just get hit by a pandemic and you need to postpone your graduation date. You never know. So for this purposes, you, for like future dates, you have to write expected in the parenthesis. Next, you need to check on your work experience, like you need to write a clear title that of your work experience, like of your position and your employer's name, your state, your and city name, and dates, like you worked there until when and when. This kind of helps the main organization or your future employer to track you. And names are always good, like if you have a good track record in your past, then writing names always helps, because you never know that maybe your future employer knows your older employer, and then it's kind of, oh, a connection kind of establishing and kind of supports an answer. Like for example, if the future employer likes you and they're like, oh, this guy XY worked with my friend, maybe your older employer is his or her friend. So it kind of, they can call you, and they can even call your old employer to see that if whatever choices they're making is right or not. And I feel like connection always help, if until and unless you screwed so bad. So do prefer writing your employer's name. That was the main moral of the story. After that, you need to write, try to use like same keywords from the job posting in your resume. For example, if they wanted someone with some specific skills, try to write those terms in your work experiences, because this is what is important. Because as we discussed earlier, that there are computerized portals, and the first thing the first thing the computers does is they check for, they skim read the resume, and they check for the they skim read the resume, and they check for the actual words, and if they don't find it, they just reject it. So that's important. After that, then you should try to observe that if you have enough white spaces to skim read for the reader. Because if it's like super congested, I don't know, it just makes a bad impression. And when something doesn't feel right, people don't prefer doing that. After that, so white spaces are really important. I know, like a lot of people say don't address this white spacing thing, but I feel like it kind of expresses that how organized you are. And after that, you should go always double check your resume for grammar and spelling errors, because it is a big no no no, because it is a big mark of carelessness. So I feel like that's very important. And if as most of my positions have been related to the research work, and so I always, for my sciencey side, so I always prefer writing my projects, because that's what explains my work in a better way. For example, I did a lot of work with plant extracts. That's why I write my project title and write like 2 3 points on it. Because if I just write that, oh, I did some stuff with the dairy fermentation, with non-dairy fermentation, there are zillions of things you can do with non-dairy fermentation. But if I'll write like 2 3 points on it, then it will make some more sense on it. Like, okay, this is what they did. And this resume is kind of an old standard, it's not the new one. So you might not find a lot of data regarding the points in this resume. And I always prefer writing my mentor's name in the resume, because again, connections always helps. And as I do a lot of sciencey parts, so honors and awards is my another column that I always prefer making. Because I get a lot of internships on the basis of academic excellence and like some research work. So research scholar program scholarship is definitely a highlight from my resume, and outstanding service in the department of microbiology, another highlight. So try to, it's like you have to use your own brain to add columns, that if you need skills column, or you need honors and award columns, or you need a research project columns, because in the end it completely depends on your position you're applying to, your field, and no one can answer this part other than you. So try using your common sense and make a really good resume. I think this should help you, and thanks for your time. Bye bye, have a good day, and do let me know in the comment section if it helps or not. Thanks. So I think these resumes drafting skills or those components helped you a lot, and do let me know how it helped you in the comment section. And I might upload a lot of videos this month because I'm free. And it's like and I'm doing my stuff, and I'm doing a lot of online stuff. So do let me know if you need any help in the other part, because there might be chances we might share the same ground and I might upload something like that. And do subscribe me if you have not, and have a good day and blessed evening. Bye.